Hello Year 5 and welcome to your English lesson for this week. So we're going to focus on our different skills this week to try and start building our newspaper report between now and Friday. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a quick recap. So I have drawn myself a mind map on here of newspaper features. What I'd like to do is I would like you to draw this mind map down on your piece of paper or in your books, and I would like you to see if you can think of as many different skills that we looked at that are included in our newspaper. Okay, so pause the video and have a go. Okay, let's see if you came up with the same list that I did. Okay, so we have the name of the newspaper. So the actual name of the type of newspaper is that we're reading. We then need to have an interesting headline and a byline. I'm going to show you today what a byline is. Then we have our introductory paragraph of our 5 W's, and that's going to be our key skill looking at today. Then we have a picture with a caption. Okay, so that's usually a picture that's relevant to our story or newspaper. Then we have the facts of the main event, that's the main body. And within that main body, we have our third person and we have our direct speech. And then at the end of our newspaper, we have our conclusion with the potential next step. So well done if you remembered all of those newspaper features. And we're going to have a go at doing some of those as we work through the week. So today we're going to be looking at identifying the 5 different W's within a newspaper report. So we briefly touched on this on Friday's lesson. So now we're going to focus specifically on that part of our newspaper reports today. So let's have a think. Pause the video. What do you think the 5 W's are? Okay, so we have the who. Okay, so who is the bit that indicates the person or the people that the newspaper report is about? Okay, so the main focal point of our newspaper. For example, for us, it's going to be either our frogs or our pigs, okay, as well as the residents of the neighbourhood. Then we have our what, okay, so the what refers to the situation or the problem or the event that this newspaper report is revolved around. So what's the key part of the story? We then have our when. Now this indicates the time it happened. So you might have the date, the year and the time. Sometimes you might have the specific exact time of when this event actually occurred. We have our where. So we have the geographical location of the incident. It could be in the village, could be in the town, the countryside, but it could even be the airport or the train station, anything specific with a name of the place of where it happened. Okay. And then we have our why. Okay. So the why is on some level the most important one of our 5 W's, because this is the reason for the events that you're narrating. So why is it that we are writing a newspaper about flying pigs? Okay, so we'll explore those a little bit more as we work through our lesson today. So here is an example of the opening part of a newspaper report. Okay, what I would like you to do first is I would like to pause the video and have a think. What key skills, going back to our mind map at the beginning in front of you, what skills can you see we have used in our opening part to our newspaper report? Pause the video and have a think. So it's important to remember that although we're going to be looking at our 5 W's today, we still need the starting elements of our newspaper report. So this is going to be my key for today. So I can see I've got myself a title up here. And I can see that I've got myself a headline. Okay, so brilliant Bolt grabs gold again. I can see I've got my byline. I'm going to model this to you today. So this is the name of the person that's actually written the newspaper report. And then we have our picture over here with a caption that explains what the picture is about. So let's have a look at our 5 W's. So Usain Bolt reaffirmed his title as the world's fastest man by achieving a marvellous 3rd gold medal of the Games this week. In front of a deafening capacity crowd in London's Olympic Stadium, the 25-year-old world record holder completed a remarkable set of victories to establish himself as one of the greatest sprinters of all time. So that's my opening paragraph. So I need to now think, where have I used my 5 W's? So let's start with the who. So the who, I'm looking for a name, the name of the person that's involved in our newspaper report. So I can see here that it's Usain Bolt. Okay, so that's our who. Done and dusted. Then we need to look at the what. Okay, so the what is going to be what the newspaper is about. Why am I writing this newspaper report? So the what is going to be for achieving a marvellous 3rd gold medal of the game. So that's the story that we're selling from this newspaper, because he won another 3rd medal in the games. Okay, Then we're going to look at the when. So we're looking for the time of week, could be the time of day, it could be a date that we're looking for. So if I read along, Usain Bolt reaffirmed his title as the world's fastest man by achieving a marvellous third gold medal of the Games this week. Okay, so this week, so we've got a time reference there. So I know that the when is going to be for this week. So now I need to move on and think, well, have I included some information about where this event took place? So I'm looking for a geographical location or the name of somewhere where this sporting event is taking place. So let's carry on reading because I know it's not in the first part I've started. So in front of a deafening capacity crowd in London's Olympic Stadium. Oh, okay. Well, I know that London is a place, but more specifically, I know they've got the Olympic Stadium. So that's going to be my where. So this is the event. This is the area, the place where our event is happening. Now, the why tends to be the hardest part to try and explain because we need to think, well, the why is the reason why we're getting people to read this newspaper report. So I've actually highlighted two things. So the one point that we are trying to get across to the reader here for, the reasons for why to win it is because he's reaffirmed his title as the world's fastest man. Okay, but not only has he reaffirmed that title, so he's kept that title and he's gone solid for it this time, but he managed to set himself so many victories that he's now one of the greatest sprinters of all time. Okay, so I've almost split my why apart there. So you can see that you've got your who, so the name of the people or the persons involved. The what is what it is that you are reporting, what's the main event of our story. The when is going to be the location of where the story is taking place. We then have the where, so where this is going to take place, obviously it's in London, and the why, the reason for why we're reporting this story, okay? So I've also included my title, headline, byline, picture and caption, but we're not going to model those to you as such because I think you can have a go at doing those yourself. So what I would like to do is I would like you to have a read of my example that I have now written about our frogs. Okay, so I've shown you how to look for the different skills, but I would also like you to check for the additional skills down here. So I want you to find the title of my newspaper, I want you to find the headline. Have I included a byline? So I've explained who's writing this report. And have I included a picture and a caption? Then I want you to see if you can identify where those 5 W's are in my paragraph. So pause the video and have a think. Can you find them all? Okay, well, first of all, I'm going to check. Have I included a title? Well, my title of my newspaper here says it's the Sutton Herald. So I can tick that off. I know I've done that. Then I need to think, well, have I included a headline? So this is the headline about what my story is about. Now, I decided to use a bit of alliteration with mine. So I went for Flying Frog Calamity. Now, calamity is a big problem, a big drama, and I know that they caused a lot of issues. So I can tick that off. Yeah, well done. Used my headline. Now, a byline is where we write an extra sentence that almost introduces the newspaper report. So flying phenomenon as frogs destroy the local town. And I've written an exclusive report by Miss Humphrey. So I've explained who it is that's reporting this news story. So I can tick off my byline. Then I know over here I've got a picture and I have my caption underneath. And my caption tells me what the picture is about. So I can tick both of those off as well. So now I need to look at my 5 W's. Okay, so in the early hours of Wednesday, the 2nd of October, a group of flying frogs invaded the quiet town of Sutton Coldfield. Outraged residents across town were sent into a frenzy when they woke up the following morning to find their houses and gardens had been savagely destroyed. So I need to think about what is my who. So my who is going to be the main focus of my newspaper. Now, it's not going to be the focus of my residents. Obviously, I know they were involved. But my main focus of my story is going to be my frogs. So it was a group of flying frogs. That's going to be my who, my subject for my newspaper report. Then I need to look at the what. So what is it that I'm reporting? Well, I'm explaining that the flying frogs invaded, didn't they? So the invaded the quiet town is going to be the what. That's what the frogs have done. That's the main event of our newspaper. Then I think about, well, when did this happen? So I'm looking for a time. I'm looking for a date. Okay, I'm looking for a number or a time. So here it says the early hours of the 2nd of October. Now we know the early hours means the morning. So we're talking between midnight and 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning because that's really early morning. So now I need to think, well, where is the where? So where is this event taking place? Well, if I read on, it says a group of flying frogs invaded the quiet town of Sutton Coldfield. So Sutton Coldfield is my geographical location. So this is where the event took place and this is where I'm reporting it from. So I need to think, well, why? Why am I reporting this? What was the outcome of these flying frogs that went round Sutton Coldfield in that evening. And the result of that was that actually their houses and gardens had been savagely destroyed. So there had been a big disastrous mess that got left behind after these flying frogs invaded the town. So that's why I'm reporting it, because there was the outraged residents who ended up having everything destroyed by these frogs. Okay. So well done if you found where I have used those 5 W's, as well as using my other skills to start off my newspaper report. So your challenge for today. So I have sent home this report writing toolkit. This is just for you to have a look at, to remind you the purpose of our 5 W's and why they are important to the beginning of our newspaper. And here are some examples to show you the flow of those 5 W's. Okay, so that's just a toolkit to help you. So you're now going to write your opening paragraph about your sequel. So you're going to be writing about flying pigs. Now I've sent home a toolkit, so you need to make sure that when you've used each skill, you tick it off your toolkit. But that toolkit shows you what you need to include in your task for today. Now, make sure you add your newspaper titles and your headlines, okay? You'll also need to pick your best headline that you wrote last week, okay? So when I set you off the headlines task last week, you were told to write 2 or 3 different examples, so I want you to pick your best one. Now, I tried to have a go at modelling one for you, and the best I could come up was the pesky pig calamity. So I went for pesky because they're annoying, but also I got the pesky pig, so I got the alliteration in there as well. But I want you to see if you can do better, okay? So have a go at modelling and writing out the first part of your newspaper story. You're more than welcome to draw your picture though for your flying pigs, okay? And then tomorrow we will move on at looking at the main body of our newspaper reports, okay? Good luck to you, Year 5.